Cross-training is a big part of sports, and most youth today spend their entire year doing one sport. I happen to think that that's against the natural code of things. You should be working in other sports, developing other skills that supplement what you do on a regular basis in your primary sport. So what better way to do that than boxing? I'm at Troublesome Boxing. I'm talking to the owner, James Gooden. We're going to go 4 rounds. I'm here with James Gooden. James, thank you for having me. Thank you for kicking my butt today.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. Tell us, what made you get into boxing? How did all of that come about for you?
But the first gym I went to, I was just going, like, we didn't have enough money, so my mom, single mother, so she didn't have the money to take her to the gym. So the guy, Brooks Boxing, you ever heard of Brooks? Mm-hmm. Brooks Boxing in Tampa. I was going like on and off, and he'll let me do like a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 with him or whatever for free. So I got into a lot of street fights. Back then, nobody was shooting, there was no guns, so everybody fought like every day. So the 1, 2, 3 was my bread and butter.
Okay.
Right?
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just enough to get him up off.
Yeah.
So how then did you end up transitioning from a kid 1, 2, 3 into a young adult?
Yeah. I had a pretty good coach, Jai Wingfield, TNT Boxing, and we were at first it was a bunch of us, then it all narrowed down. So his time was more focused on me and like 2 other fighters, and I never had fear. So from my street fighting, I was like, well, whatever, it didn't matter. So I got pretty good because I wanted to work. I had a work ethic or whatever, and I would come to the gym like every day, right? The first one there, the last one to leave. So my skill just started going, higher and higher. I'm breaking through the levels or whatever. So I turned open. Open, you can fight anybody in the amateur. It didn't matter if you had 300 fights or whatever. I turned open after 5 fights. So I started fighting tournaments early, like Golden Glove, the Platinum Gloves, and I just fell in love with boxing. And so I turned professional. But after my first professional fight, I tore my rotator cuff. So my first professional fight, I won by knockout or whatever in Tampa. So after that, I was taking fights just for the money in people's backyard. I still come out as the fighter, that won, but you know how that go with the backyard. You in his backyard, you gotta stop him.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So one of the big things that I've been on is that a lot of our youth and I think athletes in general have done this thing where they work on specialization. And I think in football especially, football, basketball to a certain extent, you can burn yourself out with specialization. What are some of the advantages that you get from learning how to box and training in boxing?
Okay, I have 2 football players that I currently train, and their fathers bring them to me both twice a week. And the hand-eye coordination is no better hand-eye coordination than boxing. You literally have to move or get hit in the face. Like, what's more humbling than getting punched in the face?
Absolutely.
Right? So you learn good footwork because you have to turn, you have to pivot, and you understand timing, because in boxing you can't be late of the shot or that window closed. There's no shorter window than boxing.
When we talk about the cardiovascular, and I know I'm sitting here fully drenched after 4 rounds, why is it that the cardiovascular is so ratcheted up in boxing as opposed to probably any other sport outside of long distance running?
It's mental, right? Your mind can get tight, and your body follows your mind. I'm I'm calling out combinations, but the defensive moves, like I told you when we were working, I'm not gonna tell you. I want you to react. So when you react, oh, you know, it's taking a lot out of you to react to me just going like this. You know, straight punches, you sidestepping, you slipping, and it's taking a lot out of you because it's subtle. You know, it's not like in football, the slant route, couple steps slant. You know what you're about to do. In boxing, you don't know the shot coming, right? I say jump, you gotta get out of there quick. So it's really draining you mentally, and the body follow the mind.
And I think one of the things that most people don't realize when we're working the mitts right there is that when I'm not working the mitts, I'm hitting the bag. When we're not hitting the bag, we're doing some type of cardio. So for 45 minutes straight, it's go. That 1 minute rest that you get, it's just enough to really kind of.
It's not enough.
You know.
Right.
And then you're right back at it again. For young men that are looking to get into boxing, what are some of the things that you think makes the best student of the game?
Right. So what makes a good student is somebody who you don't have to be on top, you know, and you want to what's the word? Well, you want to listen to pinpoint instructions, right? And even the jab, it takes people a month to throw a proper jab, you know, and it's different kinds of jabs. You got the jab where you where you guard your face. You got the flicker jab. You got the pawing jab. You know, it's so many ways to use it, and that's the best weapon in boxing.
And I know because my wrist is hurting right now because I was throwing that.
You do a lot of jabs.
I was throwing a lot of jabs, and for some people don't realize, you know, I'm left-handed. So a lot of the times when I'm hitting or doing something, the power in this wrist, because I'm left-handed, is a lot stronger than this wrist.
Right.
But the right hand I actually use more because that's the hand that sets everything else up. So what do you do to bridge that gap? Because you're going to get a young person in here who's never boxed but may have a lot of strength in their dominant hand and no strength in that other hand. What do you do to get them going to really try to strengthen up that lead hand to set up their jab or set up their straights?
Right. The lead hand is how you control a man, right? And I get the lead hand stronger by just calling out more jabs than anything. One. I call more threes and ones. With the lead hand, it's, you know, if you are orthodox, odd numbers, even numbers, right? So I call more ones, threes, fives, you know, to really give this hand more work than this hand. Really, so once this hand catch up to that hand, we can put it all together.
In some of those other gyms, you get in and it's almost just like a large karate class.
Get on the bag.
Get on the bag.
Right.
But are they really like receiving that specific training that they need to get better?
No, and you can tell that when you're sparring. Like if I take my kids to spar, you know, they go balls out, just punch. You know, but me, I say, well, this first round, don't take a step forward. Bring them to you, walk them to you. You know, the second round, just lead with the three, you know, and lead with an uppercut, you know, just to work on it, whatever. And that's how you really can tell what coaches and gyms are legit by the
discipline of their fighters.
Right.
So like if you see a young man and that young man comes out and as soon as the bell rings, they're just swinging, you know that they haven't received any one-on-one training. Just talk a little bit about that aspect of your training, not just training future boxers, but really using this as a way of, you know, of trying to, you know, exercise and stay fit.
Boxing is probably the best cardio you can get besides tennis. You know, tennis, you back and forth, but it's breaks. Sometimes the ball might go out of bounds. You get a little break, down the ball a little bit, and play. boxing, there is no break. That 3 minutes, you working the whole 3 minutes. Even if you turn it, I never let your feet plant for 2 seconds. You turn, you stop, you turn it again, you punch, you turn, punch. I'm constantly on the side of you, on the side of you. You got to turn it face me. You got to duck, pull. So I'm teaching these people things they can actually use because the body does what it does the most, repetition. So I got some people that's here that come 5 days out of the week, 5 days, 4 days, 3 days.
Personally, what would you like to see out of your gym over the next year?
Okay, so I just submitted my 501c3, so I'm going to have an after school program, and I need it funded, of course. So I'm going to apply for some grants, get some funding, so I can pick kids up from school and bring them in. And what I want is a bigger facility, of course, air conditioned, if need be. And I want to have tutoring. Also, I'm going to hire a tutor, a cook to cook for the kids. If the kids don't go to school, they can, cause some kids are homeschooled. And you can come and get some healthy food, get some tutoring, get your work done, and get some real good training. And I'm taking my CPT and my nutritionist course also. So I want to help my community get healthy. Because I have friends or whatever from back in the day, and new friends I make, out of shape. I'm like, hey man, just come in and get a little workout with me or whatever, and they just stay with me.
So, love what you're doing here. Appreciate you having me in these last couple of days to get some work in when I'm back in town.
Yes, sir.
Definitely will be coming to check you out. I appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, James Gooden, go ahead and